Good evening, people. Welcome to In the North Bank. This is a special edition. We've decided to have a bit of fun in the North Bank, where we're going to create an Arsenal dream transfer window. And this week I have my podcast brother, Richard. How are you, my bro?
Very good. And yourself?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I really love making content like this. I think it's enjoyable, and it kind of gives you an insight into how hard it is to do a sporting director's job, I guess, to try and create. So, Richard, what we're trying to do today, or what you're going to try and do today, is build a squad capable of winning a quadruple. And take on some of the issues that Arsenal have had. So, without further ado, let's explain a little bit more of what we're looking for. It's a 25-man squad that we're looking for. It consists of 3 goalkeepers and then 2 players in every position. That'll take us up to 23 players, and Richard at the end will then promote 2 academy players into the 25-man squad. Are you good to go, Richard?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. To go. I'm ready and raring.
Right, perfect. Right, without further ado, let's go on to your player sales. Now, the player sales, we've got 2 columns here. One is the transfer valuation of the transfer mark on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is Richard's valuation of these players. So, Richard, would you want to kick off why you're selling these players and give a reason why?
Yeah. First off, we'll go with Carl Hyde. He's been a good servant, but I just don't think he'll challenge Raya, and that's what we need. We need a number 2 to put pressure to keep Raya's performances at a reasonable level. Next on my list is Zinchenko. Love the guy. He's versatile, but injury prone, and availability is the biggest requirement in this club. Same with the next.
Well, sorry, just can I ask you a question on Zinchenko? Transfermarkt put him down at a valuation of 22 million, and you put 25 million there. Realistically, Richard, can you see Arsenal being able to achieve a 25 million pound valuation on Zinchenko?
I'm going off the fact that Berta is a very shrewd and very hard negotiator. I think he could get squeeze an extra 3 million out of that. If I said 28, I think that is totally unrealistic. But to get an extra 3 million out, and that might be with add-ons like appearances and etc. But they'd be achievable add-ons. So I'm quite willing to expect Berta to get, because he's a decent player and he's a quality player. It's just for us, he's had injuries that have meant he's become unreliable.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Do you want to continue with the rest of the squad?
Yeah, the same with the next player. I love to bits. I think he's probably one of the best one-on-one defenders in the club, but Tomiyasu. And it's exactly the same reason as Zinchenko. He's just not fit enough, and that is where I am with him. And again, it's fitness is a key, isn't it?
Yep. Okay. Next.
Jakub Kiwior. Wouldn't want to get rid of him, but he's got a taste of first team football. And if he pushes for a move, he'd be. I'd happily let him go, because I'm not going to keep a player against his will.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that the 28 million, if I'm being honest, I actually think he's worth more than that, but it probably is realistic. Um, but I think he's a top class defender, and he's really proven it since he's came in for Gabriel. Give him game time and a good run of games, and he's came up a level. I wouldn't say as good as Gabriel, far from it, but certainly came in and done a massive job. So I do think that 28 million that you've got is very realistic. Sorry, I've just noticed an error on the next one. Pablo Vieira,
It should be Fabio, yeah.
Fabio Vieira. Again, do you think why are you getting rid of him?
Uh, I I just don't think he has the physicality. Technically wise, he is fantastic and brilliant, but he is quite slight and slender, and he's pushed over and off the ball, and he struggled with the physicality of the league. So for that reason, and I'm going to be quite well stocked in with midfield options.
Yeah. Okay. Just go through the rest of them.
Yeah, then it's Sambi Lokonga. He was on his way out anyway. He's on loan. No room in the squad. Not good enough. Then it's Nuno Reece Nelson. He's injury prone. He's not taking his chance when he's been here. So unfortunately, I'd have to go. And again, I put him a little bit higher than the what transfer market has, but I'm looking at an English club and putting English tax on it a little bit.
Okay. Next one's very interesting. Just explain why and why you've came to that valuation.
I've got a winger coming in, so I'm going to need a winger going out, and it's either him or Martinelli. He's slightly older, and he's coming up out of contract as well. So he'd be my first one out the door on age basis, and that valuation, I think the Saudi club could quite willingly play it. He's got the quality. He's scored the goals. He's useful and well worth every penny. And again, I reckon Berto could squeeze that type of money out.
Yeah. Okay.
Then it's Marquinhos. Brought in, he was supposed to be next big thing from Brazil, but never. He suffered from Pepe syndrome, stuck out on the right, and it never really worked for him. Loaned out, it's never really worked for him. So just get rid of. And again, I think that's a little low on his transfer. So I think we could squeeze out a couple more million. Again, it might have to be with add-ons and bits, but it's quite reasonable to get that. Nuno Tavares bought in, didn't work out. Thank you. And again, that value represents a salon fee in there. We got a 25% salon fee, so I expect him to go back to Lazio and Lazio to sell him on, and that would be the total figure we'd get. Then we've got Gabriel Jesus. Well, we no doubt he's quality, but unfortunately he's just not. He's just had two cruciate ligaments. He's coming to the upper age limit, and we need bodies in a striker that's going to be reliable and do a job for us.
Yeah.
For that reason, get rid of him, and I'll put him at 25 to 30 mil.
Yeah.
Again, the Saudi club will probably pay that quite willingly for him.
Then we'll come to 4 players that are going to leave the club on either free transfers or the end of their loans. Would you not keep Neto or Sterling at the club?
No, Neto wasn't good enough to displace Raya in the in the FA Cup. He was cup tied in the Carabao Cup, which fair enough, and he didn't do enough when given the chance. So it's thank you for providing backup, but away you go. And Sterling has showed glimpses, but not consistently enough for me to warrant taking him back on. We need a similar output to Saka on the left hand side.
Yeah.
And I think I've got a player to do that.
And the last two are Kieran Tierney and Jorginho. Both they're already left. They've signed pre-contracts. There is one in here that's not been mentioned, but you've not mentioned Thomas Partey, who's also on a free transfer. So take it that you're just doing the assumption that we're going to give him a new contract.
Yeah, I would be doing all I can to give him 2 years, whatever format, and reasonable terms and conditions that suit both him and us.
What was your total player sales, Richard?
224. I had it at
224 mil. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's in euros. So
is that euros? Right. Okay.
Yes.
You have to be awkward, don't you?
Right. Yeah. I think it works out about 160 something in
pounds.
Pounds. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm also giving you a £300 million war chest. So we'll jump on to the next one, which is the first player you're going to sign. John Garcia. Do you want to explain the reason behind it?
Well, distribution-wise, amazing. There's a Real Madrid game. Collects the ball. He throws it out. He sets the Deportivo player away straight through on Real Madrid goal, and the player misses the goal. But he's got that distribution, very similar to, with kicks as well, similar to Raya. He's got a similar save percentage to Raya, so that suggests he's a good shot stopper. He's punching. He punches the ball at crosses and bits and pieces, but maybe that's because the defense around him isn't so good. He can collect high balls, but I haven't seen him do too much of that. But there is limited footage, and he's only really had 2.5 seasons as first choice goalkeeper at Espanyol. But what I have seen has impressed
me. Perfect. Right, we're going to.
And
you've got a valuation of 20 million on him.
Yes, that's there's a release clause of 20 million, but I think we might be able to do a deal slightly lower, right, if we're lucky. And Berta is known at haggling, so again that's why I put him at slightly lower than he has.
Right, perfect. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Dean Huijsen, defender from Bournemouth, got a release clause of 50 million. Do you want to give your reasons for this?
Yeah, well, that release clause is payable in 3 instalments, which is fantastic. We centre back, we need cover in that area because we've got to rest Saliba if you want to challenge for 4. He's technically gifted. He's good in the air. He's got a good passing range. And he's one for a future. He's younger than Saliba, so you've got that progression side of it as well.
No, absolutely. I love the kid. I think he's going to be the next big thing. So I kind of agree with that one. Okay, moving on to the next one.
Joel Hatto. He's I've got him as left back. He's centre back, but can play left back, and he's an Ajax player. Again, he is extremely good on the ball. He's got the technique. He's defensively sound, and at that sort of price, as cover for Lewis Skelly, or to play when Lewis Skelly is injured or suspended. I think it's a no-brainer that you're not you got two players pushing each other, and you've got decent cover.
He's a top class player. There's no doubt of that. On to your next one.
One of the best defensive midfielders out there, top 5 in the world, I think. Him and Rodri for Spain dominated. His passing range is beautiful. I'm in the middle of watching for a scouting report for him, and he doesn't seem to do too much, but he's always scanning. He's always checking where the threats is, and when that opportunity to come in is there, he'll step in, get the ball and get it away. And as I said, his passing range is fantastic.
We've already had Here We Go from Fabrizio, so could you see this being the first signing of the summer?
I think this will be the first signing of the summer. I expect this one to be done within the first week of the transfer window opening.
It's exciting times. I like him. I do like him.
Yeah.
Moving on to your next one, which I find kind of interesting, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, we've been linked with Cunha. We've been linked with Williams. Williams is highly unrealistic given these the wages. But I was looking for a winger I could put out on the left wing that would produce numbers that matched sort of Saka on the other side, and it was between him and Rodrigo, and Leao's slightly cheaper than Rodrigo, and I think possibly slightly easier to get than Rodrigo.
Yep, not.
I think he's got 17 goal contributions in the Italian Scudetto, and he's got another like, and that's in 30 odd games, and he's got another sort of 6 or 7 in all other competitions. Right. So that's about 23 and 50 odd games, which isn't bad. As I said, 16 goal contributions in the Italian league, which is pretty decent because it's considered one of the best defensive leagues out there.
No, so definitely.
That's why.
Definitely. On to your next one, which is an eye razor.
Yeah. He's a free transfer, so I think if you offered round about 40 million, that signing on fee, and everything to bring his wages up to what he's earning at Man City. He's won everything he can in the game with Man City. He's quality. You're bringing him in as backup, and if you want to turn the game on its head, and I think it's a no-brainer for a free transfer.
I agree wholeheartedly. On to your last one.
Loads of strikers out there, but if you might as well go for best in class, and Isaac's best in class. I think 150 million Newcastle would would really be hard not to accept that, because they're going. They've still got PSR. Even if they get Champions League, they're still not going to be able to, and they can do lots of that 150 million. They could go and get a Gyökeres and still have money to spare for other places. So I try and break the bank for him. He will score goals. He'll make goals out of nothing, and I think he's the difference between us lifting trophies and not lifting trophies. Yeah. Multiple trophies.
I can't say too much because I've obviously built my team as well, and yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying. Okay, so you get to spend the money. So all in, I've put pounds rather than euros, and you maybe put euros. I've got you spending 370, but when you take away the player sales, it brings it to very realistic, around about £200 million spent. If you achieve the player sales.
Yeah, I had it at 420 million euros, which is about 370 million pound, and I had a net spend of 194 million euros, which is about 160, 170 million pounds, which I think is a realistic. And what that also does is it gives you an emergency fund to fall back on if you get catastrophic injuries. That means one area of the pitch you've got to go out in the winter to sort.
No, absolutely. Right, we'll talk about your 23-man squad. You don't have to break down the each player because we've just done that. But if you just go through your 23-man squad, your starting lineup, who's going to be back up, and then we could talk about your 2 academy players, bro.
Yeah, so Raya is my number 1 keeper, with Garcia the cup keeper. Then I have Timber and White. I think at the moment Timber's number 1, White comes in. Then it's Saliba with Huijsen backing him up. Then it's Gabriel with Calafiori backing him up. And then it's Skelly with Hato backing him up. Then I've got Zubamendi with Partey backing him up. I've got Royce with Marino backing him up. I've got Odegaard with De Bruyne backing him up. I've got Saka with Nwaneri backing him up. I've got Isak with Havertz backing him up. And then I've got Leao with Martinelli backing him up.
Unbelievable squad, Richard. So that's 22. So who's your 3rd goalkeeper and who's your 2 academy players?
So I've got Tommy Setford. There was a choice of 3, really. It was either Tommy Setford, Alexi Rojas, or Jack Porter, and I went with Setford. I think we probably won't keep Rojas on, and Jack Porter would be the academy keeper. But and then for my 2 coming up, Max Stallman, we've heard all about him. We know Arteta likes him, and I think in cup competitions he would get a go, run out in cup competitions and you could rest Odegaard or and have De Bruyne on the bench, or you could have Odegaard on the bench and rest De Bruyne, depending on what other competitions you got in that week. So it allows rest in that area. And then the last one is, again, there's a load to choose from, but I've gone for Butler Adeji, third striker. You could rest Isak or Havertz in the cup in the Carabao Cup early rounds if you get a decent draws and against the lesser teams, and allow Butler or Deji to get a bit of experience.
100%. Richard, I would be delighted if that was Arsenal squad going into next season, and I believe that would compete on every level, every competition, and we would have the ability. So, first and foremost, thank you so much. Viewers, if you agree or disagree with Richard, like, please leave a comment on the podcast. Let's have your thoughts and your dream squad. But Richard, I really appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for doing this, bro.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed it. It was fun building a list that I thought could win a quad.
Yeah, I think next up is going to be Max for recording. I'm going to go last, but what I will do is, once I go last, I'm going to compare my team to Richard's team at the end. I've not seen other people's yet. I know Max's, but I want to, me and Richard's compare, but I will do that in the very, very last podcast. Guys, thanks for watching in the North Bank. We're getting closer to our target. Please jump over to YouTube, press like, hit the sub, just give us a sub. We're getting so close to it, and we're going to keep putting content out the whole entire summer for you guys, just while it's quiet, etc. So please do get involved. But until next time, Richard, I appreciate you, bro, and thanks for your effort.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Thanks again. Big up, guys.